Can we hear what the Lord, the Holy Spirit is saying about these end times? It's all laid out so plain. We just need ears to hear, eyes to see what he's saying. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, beginning in verse 1. Now as to the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need of anything to be written to you, for you yourselves know full well that the day of the Lord will come just like a thief in the night. While they are saying peace and safety, then destruction will come upon them suddenly, like birth pangs upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. They will be saying peace and safety. There will be this feeling, this atmosphere of this peace and safety, and you'll come like a thief in the night. And then, as it said there, then destruction will come upon them suddenly, like birth pangs upon a woman with child. Where else do we hear this about the end times? Revelation chapter 12, starting in verse 1. And a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. This is representing the church as a whole. This is this woman, a great sign, a woman clothed with the sun. Verse 2, and she was with child. What did we just read here? Will come upon them suddenly like birth pangs upon a woman with child. And she was with child, and she cried out, being in labor and in pain to give birth. And then, look at verse 4, Revelation 12:4. And the dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth, so that when she gave birth, he might devour her child. And she gave birth to a son, a male child, who is to rule all the nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up to God and to his throne. That's the pre-tribulation rapture. There's this woman, the church as a whole. She's about to give birth. And she gave birth in verse 5, and she gave birth to a son, a male child, who is to rule all the nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up to God and to his throne. Now look at verse 6. And the woman, the rest of the church, the saints that are not ready, those that are loving the world and the things of the world, those that are just in it for religion, for the benefit to them. And the woman fled into the wilderness. How do we know that this woman is the church? How do we know that this woman is God's people that are left here in the tribulation? And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared by God, so that there she might be nourished for 1,260 days, or the first 3.5 years of the tribulation. So this is coming upon them like birth pangs upon a woman. Here's this woman, the church, about to give birth. And as she gives birth, this child is caught up to heaven. We're going to rule and reign with Christ. And that is the pre-tribulation rapture saints that are ready. And she fled into the wilderness. Those that are left. That's why you know this is the rest of the church. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared by God, so that there she might be nourished for 3.5 years. God's laying this all out so plain and so simple and so straightforward. But those on the broad road to destruction, all they see is death and destruction. They don't see this revelation of Yeshua, the Messiah.